Greetings. I know it's been a long time since I've done a video. Summertime is not a real good crafting time for me because I have horses and kids and all kinds of stuff. So I tend to slow down in the summer in terms of my crafting. Often I do crafting, but I certainly don't get around to putting it on a video. Just way too busy. But fall time is here and it's getting a bit rainy outside, and yeah, the crafting bug hit. So this is the project that I did over the summer that I made for my sister. It's just a mini book it's a paper bag album using the smaller paper bags from Michaels. And it uses the Susan Winget collection, that summer collection that had the butterflies and botanicals. It's really a beautiful collection, and I'd been making it and my sister saw it and she just loved it, so I decided to give it to her. So I need to get a video recorded so that I can give it to her. What you see here is the cover, and I used it's kind of a shimmery paper. This is by K & Company. It's one of the decorative lines, and I put glossy accents over the dragonfly that was on the paper. This is a slide that I had alcohol inked and put this rub on. I had that in my stash forever. This leaf is something I cut out on my silhouette, and then I painted it with Lumiere or something, and then I embossed over the top of it with some olive colored embossing powder, and it kind of, because of the Lumiere, it kind of separated it, but it looks really cool. This is a paper flower I made mostly with pieces from my silhouette, and this little flower is one that I made with just one of those little 5-petal punches. And this is a little butterfly sequin and a flourish from Recollections, and then I covered the back with this brocade fabric that has butterflies, and the back is just really simple, pretty paper. So as you open the book, I started this right after I got my silhouette, so there's a lot of silhouette things. These tags are used throughout in their silhouette, and then there's just little mini books that have journaling spots stamped. So that's just a little mini fold-out book. And then you come here, and this is the Susan Winget paper. Really don't want to over-decorate this paper because it's already gorgeous. It has glitter here, and then one of my sequins, and a little stamping on that. And then a tag that I stamped and backed with the paper, because this is a paper bag album, and there's lots of room for tags. And then this is just a glassine envelope with some little tags in there, and then a journaling spot. One of my homemade flowers I used the silhouette to create, and then it was just white paper, and then I used my homemade glimmer mist, and that's some Flower Soft and just the paper. And here's a tag. It's got a button, and this is a little felt flower that I cut out with my Big Shot. And this is kind of one of the cool things about silhouette is you can take just any image, and I got this off of Vintage Fairy, or I don't remember exactly what the name of that blog is. And then I just imported it into my silhouette, and I was able to print it and then trace it with the silhouette, and then it cut it out, and they just came out really pretty. Those butterflies did. You turn the page, journaling spot. This pulls out. It's just a tag. It's got some really beautiful paper, little stamp here, and little stamp on this little journaling spot. This is an acetate flower that I got from Scrap Goods, I think. I don't remember. And this is a flower I made with my punch. Another sequin, little flourish, little tag that I stamped, little flower that I made. Lots of these little homemade flowers in here. This is I used Arlene's technique to make this flower, and then I stamped it. And Martha Stewart punch and embossed with glitter embossing. Let me turn the page. There's our famous Prima packaging that I've converted into a tag with a felt flower and a button and a little strip of ribbon. And oh, isn't that gorgeous? And then this is just a flower that I made. And like I said, you don't have to do much to this paper. It's really fabulous. This is something I cut out on my silhouette. Added some flour soft to homemade flour. There's the back of what that looks like. It was so big it wouldn't fit in the album, so I had to cut it in half, and so I just did that. This is some of that ribbon that you get from, well, that you can't get anymore, but from Hobby Lobby. And then this was a big tag that I made with my silhouette, and then the silhouette has this feature where you can actually punch the holes to sew designs. And there's not a lot of designs, but they've got flowers, and they just came out with some new snowflakes, so that's kind of cool. So I punched the holes, and I sprayed it, and then I sewed it with some yellow embossing thread, and then just put a brown button in there, and you open it up, and there's some beautiful paper, journaling spot, and an area for a picture, and some fibers on this funky ribbon. And there's on the back is another thing I made with my silhouette, and the bird was kind of plain, so I painted it with some homemade sparkle paint. And then there's a flower that I made, and another little journaling, and a little sequin. I love butterfly sequins. I need to get more. And then a little journaling, and then this bird was part of the collection. It was just on one of the papers, and I cut it out, and I used that triple thick paint that Yoli Bean talks about to paint it so it would be more substantial, and made it into a pocket. And tucked behind the birdie are these, I have this journaling stamp that I just love. It's a flower with, it has that outline, and then it has the journaling in the middle. So I cut out 3 of them, and as you can see, in different colors, and I just painted the edge with some of my homemade twinkling H2Os, and just it tucks there behind. And then here's the tag that goes in there. There's this was from the collection, just a glossy, or a butterfly, homemade flower, a little bit of ribbon, and a journaling tag, and on the back there's just a strip of paper to be decorative. And then you turn the page, and I have this vintage ribbon that I got from the thrift store hanging down here. And this is a stamp that comes from the Angel Company. They had it a while back. It was a limited edition. And I did some paper piecing where it's actually the butterfly on top of the box. So I stamped it once in the paper, and then I stamped it again on the decorative paper and cut out the butterfly and adhered it on top. And then I used the bling, and it looks like I put some, looks like there's some glitter glue there too. It's been a while since I made this, so it's almost a surprise to me. This is one of those butterflies that I cut out on my silhouette, and I put the triple thick on it, and it's a pocket, kind of. You can tuck something in there, picture or whatever. And then this is a tag. This is a homemade flower, and there's a journaling spot. This is that Martha Stewart butterfly, and I just laid the bling over the top like that. And then on the back, this is something I've had forever. It was when I first got my Sakura pins, and I was playing with them, and I had a template, and I traced the template, and then I colored it in, and then I did this, you know, it's like stipple stitching. That's what quilters call it. And I did that around, and I had this laying in my stash for probably 2 years, so I used it. Just the paper. This is an EK Success punch that makes these little flowers. Oh, let me get back on the screen. Boy, I'm not very good at these, am I? This is an EK Success punch, and I put the little bling in there, and then this is just a flower that I used. I think I used one of my Big Shots dies, and then, you know, little handmade flower. And then the last page has the edge of the paper bag, and homemade flower, and then this little file folder. It has this cute little love tag and the ribbon, and this opens up into a little book like this, and then on the back just the paper, and then of course a journaling spot with Martha Stewart punch and some bling. So this one's going to my sister, and I hope you like it. Thanks.